Georgie, I'm looking to you first. We just get right into reading the meeting, the conduct by rote participation statement. We'll do that to start, and then we can do introductions.
Wonderful. So if everyone can hear me, good afternoon. This open meeting of the Rail Trail Advisory Committee is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's Executive Order of March 12th, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted on the town's website, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment. For this RTAC meeting, the convening remotely via the Zoom app as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you, and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. Supporting materials that have been provided to members of this body and will be shown during this transmission, if applicable. I'm not sure if we have any. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless the chair notes otherwise. We are now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. The chair will introduce each item on the agenda as he goes through them and will refer to the appropriate members to lead discussion. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in colloquy with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. For items with public comment, we have established an email address for public comment, publiccomment@danversrailtrail.org. This email address is shown online with the streaming of this meeting. Residents may email comments and they will be provided and read out loud after they have been received. All emails must contain the date and the subject line. Please include your full name and address in the email. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. And Paul, if I'll have you conduct the attendance roll call if you don't mind just doing that. Paul, you're on mute.
Thank you, Georgie. What we do without you. Can the person who's known here as iPad 3 identify themselves?
Looks like they're not on audio yet, Paul.
I'm not on audio?
iPad 3 is still connecting to audio, it looks like.
Yeah.
Whoever it is.
So I have a feeling it's Bob Brown, but because he does connect via an iPad, so we'll continue, and hopefully if that's Bob, he'll let us know within a couple of minutes. So we'll begin with introductions, and I'm going to just kind of go around the horn, and I'll ask people to introduce themselves because it's probably easier for me to guide it like that. So I'll start with you, Maureen.
Lori Dupont, member of the Rail Trail Advisory Committee.
Okay. And Maureen Bernard. You're muted, Maureen.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Good evening, everybody. Maureen Bernard, Select Board.
Paul McNulty, Rail Trail Committee.
Nancy McNulty, Rail Trail Committee.
Charlie.
Charlie Linska, Rail Trail Committee.
Scott.
Scott Bornstein, Rail Trail Committee.
Larry.
Larry Peralt, Rail Trail Committee.
Joe,
Joe Anthony, Rail Trail Committee.
Mark,
Mark Jones, Rail Trail Committee.
Georgia,
Georgia Pendergast, Town Hall staff.
and I have noted here Lauren.
Yeah, Marty Emick. I'm with the Middleton Rail Trail
Okay, welcome.
Alliance.
Marty's here.
Hello to Mark Jones.
We're doing. And then if the iPad 3 person can introduce themselves.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not sure I'm on there.
If
We hear
somebody,
you,
we hear,
Bob.
is that Bob?
Yeah.
On iPad 3?
Yes. Yes.
You're approved, now that we know who you are. Okay. So let's begin. Thank you all for joining us. And Georgia, please don't hesitate to interrupt me if I'm not following some of the proper guidelines here for the meeting. I'm going to start by sharing the, doing a screen share to show the agenda. And that'll just be quick. And here is the agenda for the meeting. So we'll quickly, we just read the executive order on rail participation. We'll hit new business. We'll recap our current business, plans for Medtronics, the shed at 32 Hobart, the couple of work areas around mile marker 3.6 and general repairs, the update in the Northwest Extension. We'll see if there's any finance updates from the Friends of the Rail Trail, Friends of the Danvers Rail Trail from Larry. Approve the minutes from last month, and we'll set the meeting for next month. For next month, for those of you, just if we have the channel 22 and 41 for viewing, we have the online link which you can find in the agenda on the town website as well as on the Rail Trail website. And if you want to participate, you can use this public comments at danversrailtrail.org, and we'll do our best to respond. So I will close that. Then, whoops, and I got to go back to stop the screen share. Okay, so the first agenda, excuse me, the first agenda item that we have is any comments from the public. I will take that as no comments.
I have
Oh,
something
sorry.
from the rail trail.
Okay.
I said public, but-
Well,
Anyway, I'd like to thank the lawn mower dudes, Bob and Charlie and Tom, for doing such a great job. I noticed it last week. It really looked fabulous,
Yeah.
the whole trail.
trail looks
Thank
great.
you so much.
Yeah, it does. And Tom's not on, which is interesting. I thought Tom was going to join, but okay. All right, thank you, Nancy. Any other comments from the?
Yeah,
Yes?
I was also wondering who put in the stone dust on the bridges. And I don't know if that's in the notes.
That's our man, Bob.
Yeah, that was great. Those are in dire need of
Yeah.
the stone dust, and you can now navigate those a little more comfortably.
Thank you, Bob.
Great job.
All right. We'll move on to current and recent business. The first thing we have on the list is confirming the plans for the Medtronics Volunteers Day. Now, I did circulate a note, which I can bring up if it makes sense to do that. But basically, for the folks that may be new, this is a group of 12 people from Medtronics is asked to volunteer on the trail. And we have 2 projects set up with them for Tuesday, September 22nd, starting at 1 o'clock. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of go through my notes. And what I'd like to try to accomplish is just finish up any of the logistics for this afternoon. So just to clarify, the meeting is, the timing is September 22nd, 1 o'clock. Medtronics expects to have 12 people. They're not looking for lunch because they're going to already have their lunch. But maybe we should bring some water and snacks, something we should look at. Currently, we have from the Rail Trail Committee, Tom Powers, Charlie, Joe, Lori, Paul, and Nancy will be there to help. Will there be anyone else that will be available to help? Okay. The 2 areas that we're going to work on are in putting the bark mulch down along the trail in Putnamville Park. Do a little bit of weeding, put down some landscape fabric, and put down the bark mulch. And then the second area is to reseed the path at the Maple Street Church. Break up the surface, spread some loam, and put down some seed. As a side project, there was a request from Aaron that we put some stone dust to smooth an area near the sewer drain cover there. We can look at that when we're actually there on Tuesday. So I think the projects are pretty clear. Any kind of questions on the projects themselves? Okay. So I just have a few questions to go through. So there's going to be 10 people, let's say 10 or 12 people from Medtronics. Where should they park? Should they, if they park at Hobart Lot, we'll have to get them out. The people that are going to be at the church can park at Hobart, but do we want to carry the other, transport the others out to Putnamville Park? There'll probably be 8 people.
Well, there won't be anybody at the church at that time of the day.
Can't you park at the Putnamville School?
Yeah, what about Joe's spot?
Yeah. Putnamville, yeah, that's okay, I won't charge.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. The school. Okay,
Yeah.
good idea. Good idea. And then Lori, what were you saying about the church?
There's not going to be anybody at the church that time of the day, so
Well,
they could probably park in the church parking lot.
yeah, the only thing we need to watch out for is that Marge, the nursery school gets out between 11 and 1. And it would probably be better to just have people park at the lot. It's only 25 or 30 feet to walk.
Yeah, you're right. Yep. Okay.
Okay, in the Hobart Lot. I like the idea of the school.
Putnam in school, yeah.
That's school. Georgie, would you mind just checking? I can't imagine there's going to be any problem using that lot for 4 hours that afternoon.
No, I mean, I'll ask you guys, have you ever seen anyone in that lot? I mean, Joe, I know you do park there, all kidding aside. Have you ever seen anyone else in that lot?
No,
On
Okay.
Sunday, the Blue Angels use
Well,
it
yeah,
the
Blue-
first
yeah.
week of the month, but that's a Sunday, so
Yeah.
that's no problem.
That's good.
Okay.
All right.
But I'll double check.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I don't think, this might be one that's better to ask forgiveness. Okay. So I already spoke with Bill Clark. He'll give us a special deal on bark mulch and loam. And so he'll bring 2 yards of topsoil to the church. And I'm going to try to have him dump it right next to the spot where we're going to work. And then I'll have him come back and bring 10 yards of bark mulch to the to Putnamville Park. And I was just going to have him dump it kind of in the middle between the two, kind of in the middle. Does that make sense?
Along the,
Where the work will be done.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
yeah,
All right, good. Is there anyone that could meet? So I can meet with Bill at the church. Would anyone be available to get to the Putnamville Park a little early? And kind of maybe I'm going to say around 11 or 11:30 to be there when he delivers the bark mulch.
I could.
See, who's that?
Joe, I'm sorry.
Can you do that, Joe?
Sure.
Oh.
Yes,
Joe. All right. Very good.
Bob trying to-
Is somebody is trying to get us?
No.
No. Okay. But no one's trying to enter either. Okay. So Joe, that'd be great if you're there. I might be able to get up there as well, but it'd be great if you're there. I'll get the landscape fabric and the grass seed and just kind of get it to the right spots. So we just basically you should have a team leader at the church and a team leader at Putnamville for the committee. Anyone?
Well, Joe's
I'll take whatever's open. It doesn't matter which one.
Joe, do you want to be the team leader up at Putnamville?
I can, but I'm gonna need to be briefed a little bit more detailed about what needs to be done by somebody.
What is
it's your cell.
it's my cell? What?
It said call from.
Where?
Well,
Maybe it's Tom.
No, that's not me. That's
Oh.
weird. That was odd. Anyways, okay. Well, whatever. So see this. Somebody's come and gone. Bob, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Good. All right. So I was going to say, so Charlie, if you want to take the church,
All right, I'll take it.
and then Joe, you and I can do the one up at Putnamville Park.
Okay,
Okay. So Charlie, and then Lori, can you work at the church?
Can I work at the church?
Yeah.
What time? I
Yeah.
can work until 2,
That should be good though. We'll get started. That'll be good if you're there.
on account of because we're in school now.
oh, yeah.
Right? Oh, that's right. That's
So
right.
I can be till 2.
Great.
I can be,
You can be at the church.
Yeah.
We'll have 3 people there. We'll have a few people then up there. Okay, great. So I'm going to say if Tom Power said he could join us, so I was going to suggest Tom up at the Putnamville Park because he lives near there. Charlie's going to do the church. Joe's going to be at Putnamville. Lori's going to be at the church. And then Nancy and I I'll be at Putnamville. Nancy will be at the church. And then if there's anyone else that joins in, we'll figure out where they're going to go. All right. I'll get the fabric. We'll get that. All right. Lori, we just need to, if you can kind of help with the hoses at the church, just so we can water the thing afterwards.
Yep, I can do that.
As far as equipment, I suppose people can just bring so we're going to need 2 wheelbarrows. So we have a wheelbarrow, so can a couple of other people bring wheelbarrows?
I have one.
Okay, so Charlie, why don't you make sure you bring one to the church?
I'll bring a wheelbarrow and a grass seeder.
Say again?
I'll get a grass spreader. I'll bring a wheelbarrow and a grass spreader.
Okay. Well, why don't we just do this? So just to make it a little easier, if Charlie and Lori can just bring whatever tools you kind of think are appropriate to the church, and then I'll bring our tools and Joe, if you can bring whatever tools you might have, rakes and things to the Putnamville Park, I'll do the same.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good. Lori, do you still have water?
I don't think so.
Lori, do you still have
What?
water? Do you have water? Water.
What? No, water's all gone.
All right, so I'll get some water when I get the other stuff. What about? All right, I'll get that stuff. Okay, water. Where am I going to write this down here?
Excuse me.
See, what's that?
That's Lori's phone.
Oh, it's Lori's phone. I'm just looking to where. Okay, water. All right. I think we're kind of set on that topic, unless people want to add anything else.
Well, even though I can't work that day, I have a lot of shovels and rakes and things. If you find you need
Oh, great.
things like that, let me know what you need. I've got a whole bunch of stuff in my garage.
Okay, that'd be nice. I'll let you know.
Yep.
Maureen, I have no idea what your schedule is like, but if you wanted to stop by and just say hello and thank the folks at either location in the afternoon, that would be nice. But if you can't, don't worry about it. You're muted. Maureen, you're muted.
I was going to try to pop by probably in the morning. I've got something in the afternoon already scheduled, so.
Okay, all right.
What'd you say, 11 o'clock it's starting?
1 o'clock.
Oh, 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
There'll be other chances.
Yeah, I'm going to try it for that time if it was earlier.
Okay.
I'm going to try to pop by.
Yeah, just to say hello, I think people would appreciate it. All right.
Paul, can I just jump in and just make a quick note? And I apologize if it's already been brought up, but if we could just remind the Medtronic folks and our folks to have masks, just in case you guys are in close quarters, and to keep with social distancing protocol. Just a reminder to their team.
Yeah.
I know we're great about it, but we just want to make sure.
Yeah, I actually have about 24 masks that I plan to bring along, just in case people don't have them.
So I have a question in that regard. So if we're out there and we're far enough apart, we don't have to wear our masks. But if we congregate, get closer together, then we should put our mask on. Is that the approach?
I would say the town website has our exact guidance, but from my understanding, if you're 6 feet apart outside, the mask, you can pull it down. It's not needed. But if you guys get close together, you're sitting around for lunch, or, I think it's kind of sensible, but
Okay.
I know the town has guidance. I can double check it.
Yeah, it worked fine with the last group.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. When
Yeah,
we
the
did-
fence install at Maple Street, whatever happened there, I think that worked really well.
Okay, is that all right, Joe?
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So let's, unless there's more in this topic, let's move on to the shed at 32 Hobart. And again, just for background for folks, this is a storage shed for a lot of our equipment, including our mower. And I think the main open point was around approval from the various town offices. Georgia, do you want to give us an update on that?
Yes. I did just want to read an email that I sent. I think I gave it to Paul, but so everything is great with the town, fine with DPW and David Lane. Electric Division did write back and said everything looks great. Just one question: is the bottom half of the shed really going to be bright fuchsia? That's a bold new step for Danvers, and I like it. Let us know if you need help with anything else. So everyone's in full support.
All right, great. So Charlie, I think the next step is to order it. now that this was the open point we had was confirming, getting approval from these folks. Is there anything else we need for you to, before you want to place the order?
No, actually, excuse me, the order should be placed to Larry,
Okay.
since he's the finance guy, and he's got the 04 tax-free account. No, I don't know if he's got the quote and because the quote is spelled out, it's very clear.
Right.
And the contact information. Do you have those, Larry?
I don't have any of the paperwork for the shed. I would imagine there's a deposit that has to be paid. All I know is what I saw from the last meeting, but I don't believe I have the actual final, you need to send it to me.
I will do that.
Okay.
I will send you the contact information, and I'll also send you the quote. And if you want to give this person a call, then you can find out how much you have to put down.
Right.
Also, the delivery date, how many weeks they're talking now.
Mhm.
They had gone from 10 to 12 down to 8 to 10. So
Oh,
maybe
that's
that's
helpful.
a little better. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
She's right up in North Andover.
All right.
Hey, Charlie, Nancy just mentioned something that we need to, there's one open point that probably really for kind of Georgia and Charlie, talking with the neighbors. So probably before we order it, I would hate to be spending $6,000 and find out we've missed something. I think there's really two neighbors to talk to. It's the condominium. I guess that's the condominium owner. I don't know if you have to talk to every single person in the condominium. And then there's the person on Pickering Street. I can take the person on Pickering Street.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I thought I was muted. Sorry. I'm happy to do the condo association, and even if it's not one owner, it's easy to send drop a letter in each mailbox and just to give them a heads up.
Okay.
That would be appreciated. I'm actually tomorrow morning, I'm headed out for the Cape until Monday night.
Mhm.
So that would be great if you could take care of that.
So Georgia, why don't we do this? Why don't I take, because I have all these source documents, let me put together a really simple one-page thing.
Yep.
About what this is. I'll send it to you, but I'll also use that as, if you will, kind of like a script with the person at Pickering Street.
Yep.
Or I can leave it to them too. I suppose I can just leave it with them. And then Larry, before you actually order anything, you really need to give us a couple of days to make sure we haven't missed something when we talk, making sure that we've discussed it with the neighbors.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we don't, like I said, we don't want to be spending money only to try to have to get it back later if there's a problem. What do you anticipate would be the problem? So you think it would be a long holdup, or is it just a matter of letting them know?
I think it's mostly the courtesy of letting them know if there's some thing that we haven't considered about what someone may do entering that area. I don't know. I think it would be more likely that they may suggest a shift in the placement a little bit, something like that. But by permit, by right now, by kind of like our discussions with Rich Maloney, we can put something there, and it's town property. There's really not any significant work that needs to be done. But I think as a courtesy, we should give people a chance to comment.
So we're going to get the shed regardless, and it might be a matter of shifting the location, or maybe allowing a little more room in between things or something.
So before we say we're going to get the shed regardless, I think it's important that we give the neighbors a chance to comment.
Okay.
Okay, but then hopefully we can do that within a few days.
Oh, okay.
I could not that it's great doing this, but what we could do is say, if you have concerns, please respond by this date. That way, if they don't have an issue, they read it, throw it away, we never hear from them. But if they do, they know to get back to us by a certain date. That way we can stick to our schedule.
Yeah. Okay.
Is
I
there
don't
any?
imagine anybody would have a problem, considering the people on the other side of that building look out their window and they see the back side of the Cherry Street renovation
Exactly.
building. Oh my God.
That's tall, but
And it's not going to be a public, it's going to be used by 4 or 5 people to bring a mower in and out 2 or 3 times
yeah.
once a week.
During daylight.
It's not going to be a public spot. It'll fit with the theme of the rail trail, of the railway. So I think I can't imagine there'll be many issues, but I think the right thing to do. We need to make sure we talk with the neighbors. Yeah. So, all right.
So there's no legally required amount of time that we have to give people an opportunity to.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, there's no abutter notification like you would get for, an addition on your neighbor's house. You may get notified for that. In this case, there's no notification process for this
Okay,
because it doesn't require building permit. So we skirted past that, but as Paul says, it's a good idea.
all right, great.
Okay. The next topic is just, Joe, any update on the kind of the work, the specifications, I guess you could say, of the work at 3.6 as well as the general kind of surface repairs?
Yes, on the work at 3.6, which is the interim fix for our flooding trail north of Wenham Street. Jim Fraser said he could do October 3rd, which is a Saturday morning. And so I said, let me check with you guys to see if that was doable. He could actually do the weekend before that, which is the 26th. But I had a problem with that, and I want to be there. So I said October 3rd. He said, yeah, let's go for that. So first question is, we do need some people there to help with he's going to bring in the stone pack. We have to buy it. I'll talk about that in a minute. But, we have to help him with labor type people. People willing to roll up their sleeves and do some work. And he's going to install the 4-foot wide interim trail path on the west side of the trail. He's going to compact it. He's going to create 5 test pits, scrape the muck off so that we can see if the water infiltrates into the ground. And he'll work on the swale, a ditch a little bit north of where it floods, see if we can get water to seep in there. But other than that, we're going to have to help him. He's got one laborer coming and himself. He's got a bobcat and a compactor. So that's good that, he's doing this at his cost. But I just want to know if October 3rd is okay. Need some help there.
So I'm going to go around. That's a good point. I'm going to go around and ask Maureen. You want to get out and muck around in the rail trail? You have to unmute yourself.
Okay, what do you want me to do?
Oh no, I was just, so we have a project up at right by Agway on the off of Wenham Street,
Yes, I saw
where
that.
basically the idea is to clear to help this contractor clear some of the siding to reduce the runoff. So it's like, it's mucky work. So if you want to come out and put on your waders and a shovel and help move things, that'd be great. I don't feel like you have to.
Okay, thank you.
Think about it. You can think about it.
What's the date on that?
October 3rd.
October 3rd, okay.
Do you know
What
the
time?
hours? Do you know what the approximate hours of time of day that would be?
Yeah,
Oh,
times.
8 to 12.
Going to be morning,
8 to 12.
8 to 12. Okay.
And also, the other thing I would say is we're going to want a couple of guides. So as much as some people may be there with a shovel, it would be also good to have a couple of people wearing vests that will just say, shift this way or something like that. So we'll need a couple of guides as well.
People on the trail,
But people on the trail, yeah,
Right.
yeah,
users.
I'm pretty sure I can spend some time there that day,
great.
now that I know the hours.
And we can do it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can go in too, Paul.
Say, who's that?
Charlie?
You can?
Yep.
Mark?
I believe so, but I'll let you know for sure.
Okay.
Should we bring rakes, shovels? Do you know what kind of?
I was going to say, let's let Joe separately just follow up with folks who like what he wants us to bring. Unless Joe, I just being sensitive to time, it's probably easiest if you just email people.
Let's do that. Let me work out some details with Jim Fraser, and then I'll communicate through you, Paul.
Great.
And we'll send out to the volunteers some information of things we may need.
All right. Scott, any, you have anything?
There is another aspect of that. And that we, the Danvers Rail Trail Committee, are to purchase the 3/8 inch stone pack.
Wait,
and then-
Joe, hold on. We're just trying to see who's available on the 3rd.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, one more. So we got 2 more people to put put on the spot. So Scott, think you can be available?
I'd like to say yes, because I'm on the part of the trail so much, but I'm having minor eye surgery on the 1st. So I'd like to leave it as a hopefully.
Okay, understood. And Lori, you're on mute, by the way. Lori, you need to unmute. Do you think you might be able to help, or you just? There you go. Whoop, nope, she's not muted. No, she's.
Spacebar. Spacebar.
So Lori, so give us, if you think you can help on that day, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. All right. And signals. Okay. Lori Dupont. Great. I think I've got everybody. I did ask Mark.
Oh, okay.
Mark, I asked Mark, right? Yeah, he said he might be able to do it. I think that's Bob hiding behind iPad 3. You're
Yeah,
always on the trail. You want to give us a
Yeah,
hand?
I don't think the camera's on, but yeah, I think I can help out that day. The other project, I have a contractor coming to the house, so I don't know what time yet.
Well, it sounds like we've got a pretty good number of people that can be there, so I think we'll be all right. And then I think Tom Powers may also be interested, and CJ Mercurio, who's expressed an interest, may
Yeah.
also come, and Matt may be there. Matt likes doing this stuff.
So,
All right, so Joe, so I think we've got a pretty good list. So then what were the other topics you wanted to hit?
Well, we have to purchase a stone pack beforehand. And I'll get the vendor from Jim Frazier, and then maybe I work with Larry, or you want to work with Larry to get a check cut.
Joe can work with Larry.
And we
Okay.
already have the cost approved for that? Do we
Yeah.
have to approve that? Okay.
$5,000, right? Right,
No.
Paul? No, $500.
500, okay.
It was approved at the last meeting.
Right, okay. Got it. Just let me know.
Okay. The other thing is we want to have a pickup truck available in case there's too much muck and we don't want to put it on the slope. Concom and Georgia have said we can put on the slope if we're discreet about it and we don't put too much material all in one place. So Georgia, I hope maybe you can be there to make sure you're comfortable with what we're doing as we do it. But part of the conversation was for us to have a truck available. Hopefully we won't use it. The truck would take any excess muck and take it to the Danvers disposal site.
And I would say the truck doesn't have to be there, like I'd emailed earlier, it doesn't have to be there on site waiting. It could be, at the end of the day, you realize, this is probably a bit too much muck, or I can come out at the end of the day and say, this is a bit too much, this should be taken out. Sunday, Monday, when the truck is available and we can get a couple guys to pull it out, then that's okay.
Oh, good.
Good.
That works.
So
That's
we can be
great.
flexible in that.
Okay. The other thing was, do we want to notify the abutters?
I don't know if we
Georgia.
need to in this case. I mean, this is just right on the trail. I mean, I suppose as a courtesy, we could let them know that there'll be some work going on for a few hours that morning. Guys couldn't hurt.
We could put a sign up.
Yeah, did you do it when Matt mentioned you guys sometime, I think once a year, maybe dig out that area or dig out those kind of gullies, or you had before? Did you notify them then?
No.
No.
We've never done a notification in that area.
Then I would continue with that ooperation.
Well, we
You
should.
If you want to, it's up to you guys.
But we can put something on the website. I can work
Yeah.
with you on that just so we have a little, because you really won't be able to get through the trail for a few hours. It's going to be, there'll be no easy way around at that point.
So the only difference is that we will be, Jim will have a trailer with a Bobcat on it. I mean, it's a small unit, but they'll see a Bobcat being delivered to the site.
From the passenger seat area of any vehicle.
Okay.
Vehicles will only be allowed entry
Okay.
What is this going on in the background? Do you all hear it?
This includes, but it's
Well, somebody who's not muted has got something going on in the background.
no commercial.
Probably Bob.
No, it's not me.
Okay, well, I don't know, whatever it is.
Not too loud.
It's not that bad.
Complete list of household hazardous waste accepted. Please refer to the town website.
That's funny, huh? All right, we can't listen to that. Joe, continue.
Okay, the other thing is just, I have made contact with K&R Construction about the refresh, I call it the refresh of the entire rail trail. We won't do the entire rail trail, but there's certain spots that we've identified on the trail that need some attention. So I'm going to be, on the last week of September, I'm gonna call Ryan from K&R, and we're gonna go out that week, hopefully the last week in September, and talk to him about costing the work, specs, equipment, methods, experience, and his general interest in doing the work potentially in the future. So the work will be done next year, but right now we have to put together a cost and apply for some funding. So that would be the objective of talking to a contractor. So that's last week in September, and whoever is interested and available, we can send out a notice of when it's going to be and go from there. I also have a call into Earthworks from North Andover. They are a very good firm. They've done some work, so I'd like to try to get them out there too.
All right, thank you, Joe. So I would just say, Joe, we want to make sure that if you have people join you at those projects, that we keep it to under 5, just so we don't, because if it's only 2 or 3 people, we don't have to have a public announcement of the meeting. So, you know, if Charlie or Bob want to come along, or whoever, then we can do that. But we just need to be sensitive to the fact that if it's more than 5, then we have quorum and we need to have public notice. So.
Okay, I do have a question on that, and maybe not be able to answer it right now, but I was talking to this guy Ryan from K&R, and he was saying if you reach a certain amount of money of cost, then you're going to have to go out to bid. And I think we know that, but I don't know what that limit of money would be. Is it 10? He thought maybe
10,000.
10,000. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. So that would initiate, it all depends on, I think that would be a conversation depending on the budget of the scope of the work. So if it's over 10, you have to put it out to bid for 3 people for a certain amount of time. You have to put out a certain scope. You have to pick the lowest bid. It's a process, but I think it depends on if we get to that.
So here's a question. If it's actually being managed by the Friends of the Danvers Rail Trail?
That's another great question. So I think if it's not under the public entity of the town, so I think that's where we're regulated in that we have to provide fair service to anyone. So that's a great point. I can double check on that. If we don't,
definitely would want more than one. We would want more than one quote, but we may have a little
100%.
if we do it as a director. Okay.
So I'll check on that.
And Ryan said, you know, it's very easy to get over 10,000.
Yeah, that's my, yeah. His quote, he came out once before, Joe, and so I think he seemed like a pretty decent guy. We just need to be careful that we don't, you know, we don't want to abuse his good faith. You know what I mean? So I would be careful. You don't have him do a huge amount of work on this, because we still need to get approval get the money approved. So, but he seems like a pretty good guy.
Yeah, I was just thinking about going out to a different couple spots on the trail that have a variety of the treatments, and then see what he says, how he would do it, and if he can help us with costing, that would be great.
This is the same firm, Georgia, that we talked to when you were here in your previous life, and they never got back to us. We were looking for some kind of note. They had there's some insurance or something you wanted to get from them.
Yeah, for the town. Yeah, the town wanted just a 1099 or some form. Yeah.
So, all right.
Well, I'm glad they're back. So.
All right. So Joe, basically on this is you'll send a note out on what you want us to do for the 3rd. And as far as that project goes, and, you know, feel free that you can send it to me initially and I can circulate it, whatever's easiest for you.
I'd like to go through you. Like,
That's fine.
always like that second set of eyes.
Yeah,
Yes,
I've got nothing else to do, so it's okay.
so I thought.
All right, thank you, great. Any other questions for Joe? Last item that we have on the current business is the update on the extension project, which is really, this is why Marty's on as well. Thank you for your patience, but also Georgia, I think mostly we're still kind of in waiting mode as far as state funding. Do you have any updates on that?
So we are in waiting mode. I think that's a great way to put it. But as much of a update on an update I can give, from Aaron, he said indications from staff are things that are looking very positive, but we just don't have that final confirmation. But I can say there has been movement. Papers have been passed. So it hasn't kind of been silent. So there is positive things happening. I'm hoping at the next meeting we'll actually have a final kind of next moves.
Right. So we have Marty on the phone or on the screen, on the Zoom. You know, so I know you were keen to attend, but what we definitely will work with you once we figure out what we're going to get from the state. We'll absolutely be in touch with you, and we're happy to share all of our plans. There's nothing that's really secret. But I'm curious, would you like to give us a quick update on what's been happening on the Middleton side?
Sure. And by the way, Charlie Costigan is on YouTube as well, who's a member of the Middleton Rail Trail Alliance as well. We have gone out to bid for the first of 4 phases for the Middleton Rail Trail. This is sort of a middle spot that is a flat area that we thought would be a real good first section. The proposed 3rd phase would probably be of most interest to this group, because we would go from Route 62 Maple Street all the way to the Danvers line. So we would very much be excited with all the activity associated with the Northwest extension for you. We're working with hopefully with state grants and all that stuff as well to help on our funding. We have a website set up thanks to Mark Jones, and we've begun accepting donations for it, and that's very much alive. And we have been impacted like all of us have from COVID in terms of timing and activity. We're really here in September, where we're hoping to be in the spring. But that's just kind of the way it is, and we're trying to make the best of it now, and we're making some positive progress.
All right, that's great. Hey, Mark, maybe you can just, if you have a moment, send us the link to that website, just so it would be nice for us to have it. I don't know what it is yet, so.
Oh, theirs is much better than ours.
That is going to look very familiar.
I'll be happy to do that.
Great.
Yes, and thank you. We definitely very much valued the Danvers website, because it helped us in many ways in forming ours.
Yeah, take anything you need.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Georgia, for that update. And I guess just the last point is, once we learn more from the state, we will do kind of a more formal outreach to the community. We'll check with the neighbors. We'll have a more formal review so that everyone kind of knows what the plans are. Okay. Larry, any updates on the fundraising or on the finances overall? But, you're muted, Larry.
So I did finally mute myself. Okay. There's been no new funds coming in except for the renewal of the Beverly Bank signed by North Shore Bank. So we did get that check in. But other than that, everything's been pretty static. We haven't been spending any money. We haven't been taking in any money. We will have some expenses coming up now with the stone dust and the shed, but we're in good shape. We're in good shape. So the accounts really haven't changed much. We still have the same amount in the extension fund. It's grown by about $500 due to interest on the CD that we put it in. And we still have the same amount of money in the separate swamp walk maintenance fund. Bob's been doing a lot of work out there, I think, with inventory that we had, boards and his own sweat equity. You know, I do manage to drop by there and try to help him at random, but it's Bob doing most of the work out there. He's a little more mobile these days, so he's getting out more and doing more work. But we're in good shape funds wise. There's really nothing major to report.
Thank you, Larry. Before we move on to kind of some of the housekeeping things, anything else? You know, Maureen, this is, I think, the second meeting you've joined, or third, I don't know, whichever. I'm sure you're finding them informative. Do you have any questions for us? Anything that you want to address? Or
No, I just think that everybody's doing a great job. It's nice to hear that everybody volunteers and you're a great organizer. Thank you.
Thanks. So I think there's only 2 more items that we have, which is the approval of the minutes from the August 20th meeting, which I circulated a little while ago. I'm assuming people had a chance to look at them. Is there any reason to discuss them, or do we want to move to a motion to approve them?
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, Mark, thank you.
I'll second.
Charlie? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Actually, we have to go around the horn here, right? Georgia, we have to go around, so we have to ask everyone. So all in favor, I guess I'm going to say basically let us know yes or no. So I'm going to go right around. So in favor, yes?
Yes.
Charlie?
Yes.
Scott? Scott?
He waved.
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Lori? Thumbs up, Lori. You're still muted. There we go. Okay. And Mark?
Yes.
Okay, so they're approved. The next meeting date would, our traditional third Thursday of the month would be October 15th. Does that work for people? I'm just looking at our schedule to see. That is the Labor Day, that is the Indigenous Peoples Week. But that would be the 15th. If that still works for folks, we'll note that.
Yeah, I have a potential conflict that day, but I'm not sure yet.
Okay. Well, let's put that then in as the date, which is the October. Please, Paul. 15th at 6 o'clock. All right. So any other comments before we wrap up?
When are we going to meet in person?
Right?
Yeah. I know it's just saying that. I miss meeting in person. That's all.
Yeah, I know, and I think we're just going to be a while, and I think there's ways for us to meet in person, but there's some expense or a lot of work involved in the part of the town to set up the facilities for us, have the room. So I think this tends to work pretty well, and maybe we can do something. It'll probably be early next year before we can do it. So
no problem.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. We will adjourn this meeting. Thank you, DCAT, for hosting, and Bob for joining us. I think we're all set. I'm going to end the meeting.
Miss you guys.
Thank you. Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Good night from Bob.
Bye, Bob.
Bye, Bob.